Hello, everybody. Let's just make sure we're live. Hello, everyone. Let's just make sure we are live. Yep, it looks like we are live. If you are watching this, please let me know how the audio is, how the video is, anything else, any feedback that you have. Send that along. I'll just wait for a couple seconds for anyone to come in here. Looks like we've got 4 watching. Excellent. Wilmar says, "What's up?" Hello, Wilmar. Glad that you're in here. Let's let me know how the audio is. Let me know that you guys can hear me okay. Somebody pop something in the chat. Be good. And we'll get started here shortly. Let's just wait and see for anyone else to pop in here. Wilmar, the audio sounds normal. Excellent. I'm glad. Normal is good. I'm about the most normal person there is out there in the world. Maybe that's not true. But I'll say it anyway, and that will make it true. Okay, well, hello everybody, and welcome to this latest episode of, or this latest video of this Tech and Adventures YouTube channel. I have a few things that I'm going to talk about today, and so I'm glad that you're joining me. And if you'd like to join in live and say hello, let me know, and I'll pop in the link, and you can do that. Otherwise, feel free to leave your chats, your questions in the chat box, and I will definitely try to answer those. I'm glad that you guys are here, and let's have a good time. Get your beverages, get whatever you need, and let's have ourselves a wonderful time. And by the way, I do hope to make this more regular type thing, so definitely stay tuned. We'll be adding more presenters and more content, that kind of thing, doing more tech, and also some adventures. So very glad that you're here. Looks like we have 4 watching. Hello to all of you. Glad that you guys are here. Okay. And a few things that I'm going to talk about today. Just an article that I found regarding Clubhouse, and I'll share my thoughts about that article. And something about it losing 90% of all the people that were, well, the 90% of installs, rather. So they were gaining steam, getting a lot of people installing it, and they've lost quite a lot of them. And we'll talk a little bit about why might that be. We'll also talk a little bit about Windows 11, what's new in Windows 11, and I'll probably start out with Windows 11, talk about what's new in Windows 11, why it's what it is, and what do I think about it, and the system requirements, computer requirements. Will you be able to get it? Is it free? Is it paid? Should you rush out and download it? I'll explain a little bit about that, and just throwing some thoughts and opinions on that. So it looks like we have 6 people watching. Thank you guys for being in here. Definitely leave your comments, chats, anything like that in the chat box. Appreciate it. And feel free to hit that like button, and also share it out with your friends if you like the content. And if you'd like to come on live, let me know, and we'll definitely send you a link to do that. So let's get going with Windows 11. What is it, and why should you care about it? Well, Microsoft came out, and of course there's been a lot of leaks about this. They've released Windows 11. It was called Sun Valley. Some people had a bunch of leaks. Some people actually leaked a build of it that Microsoft filed a request to have taken down off the net, which was no good. And but looks like actually we're getting Windows 11, and basically there's a few things that are new that you might care about. And I'll go through what are some of the things that might be new, and some of the things that you might actually want to know about. First of all, let's start with the big thing. Who can get Windows 11? If you are a person that has computer from probably the last about 5 years or so, you may be likely able to get Windows 11. There are some requirements that you have to be aware of, and your computer may not be eligible, but there is a tool that is a little bit confusing to use at the moment, so I'd say hold off. But there are some definite requirements that you should know about. You have to have a computer that has a 64-bit processor. You have to have at least 4 gigabytes of RAM, at least 64 gigs of disk storage space. You have to have a UEFI firmware with secure boot capability, and that is for a lot of computers these days do have that. And so you just want to make sure that secure boot is enabled. Sometimes people install Linux distros or whatever else. For whatever reason, they might disable that. So just make sure that secure boot is enabled. And this is a relatively common thing. So then the next thing that you have to have that may be a little bit more problematic for people that have older PCs or lower end PCs, Trusted Platform Module, TPM 2.0. You have to have something like this. And I would say, like I said, a lot of the computers these days have this. One way that you can check to see, go to the Run dialog box, Windows R, and you want to type in TPM, so Tango Papa Mike .msc, Mike Sierra Charlie. Type that in, and if a box opens up, you probably have a TPM chip. You can also check in your device manager to see if it's in there. And also, if you go into your Windows settings and you have an option under updates, you go to Windows updates, you have an option for encryption. You likely have this TPM chip as well. So it's important to know that you have to have a PC with this TPM 2.0 chip. So, okay, I just gave you that information, but what does it mean if you don't have all this? Should you be concerned? Should you be afraid? Should you rush out and sell your computer? Should you find an old lady and hit her upside the head with it? No. Don't worry about it. Your Windows 10 will still be fine. It's going to be upgradable till probably another 4 years from now, until at least 2025. And Microsoft is very well known for continuing to support updates and sometimes prolong the support timelines that they give. So if they say 4 years now, who knows? It might be 8 or 10 years. So just be aware that you have some time, okay? The other thing is, if it's 4 or 5 years from now that you're getting rid of Windows 10, so, support ends for Windows 10, and they're not going to force you to upgrade. If it's 4 or 5 years from now and your computer now doesn't have a TPM chip, it's likely at least 4 or 5 years old, if not older. Therefore, your computer by that time will be 8, 10 years old. And so really, you're probably going to be looking at getting a new computer anyway. Even if the hardware isn't failing, you probably will be looking at getting new hardware anyway. And Microsoft is not releasing this update just to go and get you to go buy a new computer. They're releasing this update to hopefully help improve security for users and compatibility with newer changes. So you do want to make sure that newer PCs that you get, and they all should have this, that have the TPM Trusted Platform Module chip 2.0 at least. And again, most computers these days will have that. I don't know of any computers that don't as of now. So, what are some new things that we have here in Windows 11? Well, we've got, first of all, it's going to be released later this fall. It's not even out yet. The Windows 10 insiders will hopefully be receiving that soon, probably next week. There's a blog post out. If you're an insider, you want to try it, make sure that you are in the developer ring. But be aware that there may be some challenges, some issues, and some accessibility problems. I don't know for sure. We will wait and see. But there are some definite changes to the UI that are to be aware of. So uh, we've got a lot of what they talked about is just the ability for Windows, the user interface to be simplified. And so it's very much simplified for ease of use in mind. Uh, Microsoft has a little bit of a different UI to the start menu. They've also moved around some things in terms of the system tray, the notification, and quick settings items are separate. So that's kind of important to know. And yeah, the start menu as well. And there's also the ability for better app pinning instead of app pinning that kind of does it automatically, that kind of thing. So there are some different things. Um, there's they call it new Snap Navigator menu, and so let's see here. This will prevent you from having to drag your window from the display. Uh, the other big thing with here is they've really integrated Teams. Microsoft Teams is sort of like their version of their business product, but they did release a free version of that. It's sort of like the Zoom chat. You can share windows and you can share text and have audio and things like that. So Teams is very much going to be integrated into Windows 11. There's a chat app that's built right into the taskbar so that you can do video chats with your family and that kind of thing. You can share an app video with a team call directly from the taskbar. The live tiles things, they're gone. So now you have a grid of app icons that can be rearranged. So that's kind of pretty cool. Quick actions, as I said before, they're known as quick settings. I'm looking through an article here just to make sure I don't miss anything. And it'll include the system icons, things like connecting to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth devices. You can enable night light, configure focus mode, and other things as well. Click on the date and time. If you click on the date and time, it'll open up the calendar and the calendar view and notifications. So there's that. There's a new out-of-box experience. There's a new lock screen and modern File Explorer UI. So definitely some new things there that may or may not have impacts to accessibility. We'll just have to wait and see how that goes. They're also introducing some new widgets, or a new widget panel rather. So it'll have things like the today calendar, photos, and other widgets that they decide to put in there. There are some new improvements for touch support. So if you're using touch support, hopefully it'll feel a little bit more responsive. Changes to animations. There's a few gestures as well that have been added. So there's some new improvements to touch. I'm not sure that those will impact really on accessibility, but again, it's kind of to be seen. There's a new Microsoft Store, and in the Microsoft Store, they're allowing a lot more apps and allowing people to put apps and make money out of those apps without Microsoft profiting. So that's kind of interesting. You probably see more apps go into the Microsoft Store. It's allowing app developers to upload their own executables, .exes, and MSIs. So you'll be able to upload things to the App Store, and as an app developer. So that's kind of interesting. So maybe we'll be getting more apps that way moving forward. They've also decided that Android apps, and I reference something like TikTok, will now also be in the Android store or in the Microsoft store. So kind of interesting there. I'm not sure if this means all Android apps will run. I think it does, but it'll be interesting to get Android apps running in Windows 10 and what accessible, or Windows 11 rather. I keep calling it Windows 10. It'll be interesting to see what improvements uh, will happen in terms of accessibility, in terms of being able to use apps in Android or Android apps in Windows 11. Whether they're going to allow some form of talkback or that's going to be a narrator type thing that's going to handle that. It'll be interesting to see exactly how that works. At the moment, you can use Android apps in Chrome OS, and of course, Chromevox will work with mini Android apps and TalkBack as well, so you can switch back and forth. And also at the moment, you can control your phone screen with the narrator. If you have a Samsung device, you can control your actual Android phone using narrator. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what they do with this. I don't know how that's going to play out, but I suppose we'll see. So as I said, it's going to be a free upgrade. There's only going to be one major update a year, which is good for the people who have had accessibility issues and unstable builds and that kind of thing. One update a year instead of the two major updates. Which is similar to what other companies like Apple and that kind of thing. So that's kind of interesting. And Quentin here, let's look at the comments. He wants to know, how do you check your secure boot? Well, typically, unless you've gone in there and turned it off, you have a relatively recent computer, your secure boot is likely turned on. Otherwise, you can always use something like a Be My Eyes or whatever it is. Go into the BIOS if you need to enable that, turn that on. But yeah. Okay, so that's the Windows 10, 11. If you guys have any questions on that, I would say join the Win 10 user forum list, and that's on groups.io. And they're in the process right now of voting for a new name change to that, to make it just Windows Forum for screen reader users. You can ask your questions there. I've also seen Blind Tech and Tech Talk lists as well, people asking questions about Windows 11. The one thing that I said on there, and I'll say it again, don't panic if you can't install it. The upgrade tool doesn't let you do it, whatever. Don't rush out and sell your computer. Don't be afraid that you have to run out and upgrade. Your computer's not irrelevant. It's fine. You will have Windows 10 at least for another 4 years. And probably longer than that. So don't worry about it. There's people still running Windows 7. Not that I recommend that, but and I think by the time that happens, you'll be probably in need of an upgrade anyway. So don't worry too much about it. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Clubhouse, and this article that I see here is Clubhouse thing. The article is called, "Is the whole Clubhouse thing already over?" I'm going to post the link in the chat. There we go. Post the link in the chat. This is just one article. There are a number of these. I actually saw one last month in May that was saying something similar to this. So this is not a new thing. And what it basically goes into saying is that Clubhouse has seen a decline in the number of people signing up for the platform. It's seen about a 90% drop, and that's very significant. It goes into this idea that it possibly has something to do with the fact that now, of course, the pandemic is I don't want to call it over, but people are starting to leave their homes, and it's opening things, the more things are opening up. So it's kind of interesting. So I'll just read a little bit from this article, and that way you have an idea. Remember that when Clubhouse was going to conquer Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Zoom, and podcasting in one fell swoop. It's not hard to remember the days when Clubhouse was all anybody was talking about, because it was a few months ago. These days, as in 60 to 90 days later, It seems that nobody is talking about Clubhouse. Instead, we're mainly covering the news of Clubhouse clones being launched by Facebook, by Spotify, and by Twitter, instead of covering Clubhouse itself. Back when Clubhouse was dominating discussions, headlines, and podcast conversations, platforms like Facebook were spending millions and devoting months of development time to create these new audio-only copycats. Looks like I've got a guest here. Let's see who's this mystery guest. Nope. Hello, Dennis. No, I can't hear you, though. Uh-oh. Well, we've got Dennis in the call, or in the StreamYard, but we can't seem to hear him, so Dennis, if you can get your audio working, definitely welcome in here. So this article goes into, and it says Clubhouse is surging, but the air is quickly leaking out of their balloon. Searches for Clubhouse app and related queries have already flatlined on Google, and that's according to whatever person who's tracking that. This article goes into, let me see here. More importantly, Clubhouse is also experiencing a dramatic slowdown in app installs. The app enjoyed 9.2 million downloads in February. The number has since collapsed, and it's about 900,000 downloads. So that's a plunge of greater than 90% in a few months, which is kind of interesting. Some people are also reporting that rooms are now empty. It used to be rooms were overflowing with Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and a bunch of other people. These days, Clubhouse seems comparably dead. There's a Reddit thread that says, "Is Clubhouse hype over?" The person there says, "I see rooms with fewer numbers and not many rooms anymore. Also, people have run out of topics to discuss. Shorter duration rooms. People are tired of representative topics on the same old topics related to topic-related rooms." So I guess people are mostly talking about religion, politics, race, or some controversial debates. Okay. People are blocking each other and not letting people join each other's rooms. People are unethically bullying and calling each other names. There is huge Clubhouse fatigue. All right. Investors seem to still be supporting the app. At least there's apparently the app has a valuation of $4 billion for some reason, but I think users seem to have given up on the app. Hello, Dennis. Welcome back. No, I still can't hear you, though. I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, looks like you're muted. Nope. Okay, you're not muted. I'm not sure. I wonder if your mic's having some issues there. Sorry, Dennis. Anyway, feel free to type what you'd like to say in the chat. We can work on that later. I'm not sure what's going on with that mic. In any case, my thought on this Clubhouse thing is kind of big with blind people, and it probably will continue to be, right? Because people like to have a place to chat in audio, but it's kind of like it doesn't. It seems to me like it's kind of like the team speaks, team talks. Like they have their niches. People sometimes like them for various reasons, but they're audio only. People really have these apps have their niches. So my take on this whole Clubhouse deal is, and by the way, I am on Clubhouse. If you'd like to find me there, find me there. That's fine too. I am on there, and occasionally I have chats with people on there. But my take with that is, unless they make some changes, and I think they may be going down that road, but unless they make some changes to really change what the app's intent is, I don't see how it continues to take off. And especially now the pandemic's kind of over, restrictions are lifting, people are getting out of their homes. I don't see how it can continue to take off and make money. I know that they are adding payments to Android, so users can make payments and pay for certain events or whatever, and that feature is already on the iOS platform. But I don't really see people doing that with audio only, without chat, without recording, without a lot of features that a lot of other apps seem to have or have had in the past. And those apps didn't make it. So I don't really see what makes Clubhouse more special than some of these other apps. Babbel, we all know what happened to the Babbel. It kind of came and went. So Mark Muscat says Clubhouse a big waste of time. Yep, I agree, and I agree to an extent. I think it's a good place if you want to chat with people. It's nothing more than really a chat app. If you want to chat with people, find a room on a debate of interest, and hopefully people don't start blocking you and all that. It's good. It's good for what it is, but I don't know. I don't really see it continuing to take off. I don't really see it continuing to get more users. A lot of the users that did get it aren't necessarily continuing to use it. And by the way, I'm not talking about the blindness community here. So I know that in the blindness sphere, it is a pretty big app. And I will say that if you are looking for a invite, please let me know. Either leave in the comments or send me an email, nimerjabber1@gmail. I'll be happy to give you an invite if you need one. But yeah, I tend to think it's kind of a waste of time, as Mark very well stated here. Anyway, I think that is pretty much all I had. I was hoping to get a few people in here, but we've been going close to half an hour now. So I'll go ahead and end this here. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. Let your friends know about it. Tweet it, Snapchat it, Facebook it, whatever. And if you have any questions that I did not address about Windows 11, or you feel like I missed something big, please let me know. If you have any questions or thoughts on that, or if you have any questions or thoughts on the Clubhouse, if there's anything that you'd like to see on the channel, this intent of the channel is to do tech and outdoor adventures, but if there's anything that you'd like to see specifically, or an app covered or anything reviewed, tutorial, please let me know, and I'll happy to bring that on, and hopefully we can get some more guests on next time. And I want to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for your time. I know that you have a lot of choices of where to consume your content, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everyone.